Last week, I reverse engineered 50 channels that made their first 10K in 7 days on YouTube, and I found they all followed the exact same system. I'm talking about complete beginners here, people who had never made $1 online before. Some had 500 subscribers and others had 50,000, but they all use this identical framework. Since then, I've tested this system myself and documented every single step, and today I'm going to break down the exact process these channels used so you can replicate their results. But first, let me show you the raw data of what I found. Now, making 10K in 7 days sounds like complete internet marketing BS, right? Here's the raw transparency of what I discovered when I analyzed these channels. So the 50 channels I studied were all different sizes and different niches. I found one channel with 1,200 subscribers who made 8K in their first week. Another channel with 25,000 subscribers made 47K. But here's the thing, about 10% of the channels I studied made less than $1,000 in the first week, and 20% made between $1,000 and $3,000. But 40% hit that 10K mark, and 30% absolutely crushed it with 15 to 50K. The crazy part, channel size wasn't the deciding factor. It was following this specific system that I'm about to show you. But how many subscribers do you actually need to make 10K in 7 days? That's the thing, it varies massively based on your niche and how well you execute this system. If I was going to give you a rough benchmark from my research, it's consistently getting 1,000 views per video and having at least 500 engaged subscribers. However, some people with those numbers might make 2K where others might make 20. Now, you might be thinking, great, I'm nowhere near that, but check this out. I found this small channel with only 340 subscribers when they started this system. Their videos were getting maybe 200 views each, but they followed every step I'm about to show you, and they made 3,200 in their first week. Not quite 10K, but that's a hell of a start for someone with basically no following. However, there's another way to think about this. If you already have some sort of skill, expertise that you could teach, you can do what I call the expertise monetization method. Instead of building up subscriber counts, you focus on immediate value delivery to smaller, highly engaged audience. This is exactly what channels in the business, fitness, cooking, and tutorial spaces do. They don't wait for 100,000 subscribers. They start monetizing from day one with this system. So what's this system? I call it the 7-day cash sprint. You can do it as a complete beginner, or if you already have a channel, you can implement it immediately. Now, the critical thing to note here is not about ad revenue or sponsorships. I'm going to explain why those are terrible ideas for fast money later. Think of it like creating a valuable mini course that solves one specific problem, then using YouTube's massive reach to sell it directly to people who need it. And what makes it even more powerful, it works in virtually any niche. I found channels doing this successfully in cooking, fitness, business, art, gaming, relationship advice, even niche stuff like how to train your parrot. If you can teach someone to do something or solve a problem, this system works. But before we get into the system, there's one massive mistake that will kill your chances of success, and that's trying to build a traditional YouTube channel first, then monetize later. So if I asked you to build me a rocket ship, could you do it? Unless you're literally a rocket scientist, you'd have no idea where to start. The fuel systems, the navigation, the heat shields, you'd spend years learning and probably never get it off the ground. But if I said to you, build me a paper airplane, you'd say, yeah, of course, because it's just a few folds and you can make it fly in 30 seconds. That's the difference between trying to build a massive YouTube empire and using this 7-day system. Most people think they need to post daily for months to build up subscribers, get monetized through ads, and then maybe make some money. That's rocket ship approach, incredibly complex, and it takes forever. The 7-day system is the paper airplane. You create one specific piece of valuable content, package it properly, and sell it directly. Simple, fast, and actually work. The 7-step system. Step 1. Pick your money-making topic. Everyone gets this wrong because they think, what do I want to talk about? Don't do that. Instead, ask yourself, what's the one thing I know that people are actively searching solutions to? So when I researched those 50 successful channels, I noticed they're all targeting what I call urgent problems. These are things that people need to solve right now, not eventually, like how to lose £10 for a wedding next month, or how to make money from home this week. If you're stuck, just go to YouTube, type in how to plus your area of knowledge and see what comes up. If there are millions of views on these topics, people are desperately looking for solutions. Step 2, create your irresistible offer. Do not create content yet. This is where most people fail. First, figure out what would make your solution impossible to refuse. From my research, the most successful channels created what I call transformational promises. Instead of just teaching something, they promised a specific outcome in a specific time frame. For example, instead of learn guitar, they say play 3 songs perfectly in 30 days. this. Instead of cooking tips, they say cook a week's worth of food in 2 hours. The key is being specific about the outcome and the time frame. People don't buy information, they buy results. Step 3, build anticipation before you create. This is crucial and nobody talks about it. You want to get people excited about your solution before you actually make it. Create a simple landing page or use a tool like Typeform to collect emails with a message like, I'm creating a step-by-step system to solve this problem. Want to be the first to know when it's ready? You'll get a special discount if you enter your email. Then, in your regular YouTube videos, casually mention that you're working on something special. Don't oversell it, just plant seeds of curiosity. Step 4, the perfect sales page. Your sales page just needs 3 elements, and most people overcomplicate this massively. First, a headline that screams, this is exactly what I need. Use this formula. How to get specific result in time frame, even if common obstacle. Second, a simple video where you explain the problem, show your solution, and ask them to buy. Keep it under 10 minutes. Third, clear benefits, not features. Don't say it includes 20 videos, 5 PDFs. Say you'll know exactly what to do each day to get your result. Step 5, price for fast sales. Here's where everyone screws up. They think, oh, our price is so low, more people will buy. Wrong. From my research, the channels that hit 10K the fastest price their solutions between $97 and $297. Here's why. When something solves a real problem, people will pay for it. If you solve someone's $1,000 problem, $197 feels like a steal. Plus, you need fewer sales to hit your target. 50 sales at 200 is 10K. 500 sales at 20 is also 10K. But which is easier to achieve? Step 6, the 7-day launch sequence. This is where the magic happens. You're going to promote your offer for exactly 7 days using this sequence. Day 1, announce it's coming to your email list. Day 2, soft launch with early bird pricing. Day 3, main launch video on YouTube. Day 4, educational content that ties into your offer. Day 5, case study or success stories. Day 6, address objections and concerns. Day 7, final call with scarcity. Each day you're driving people to your sales page from multiple angles. Step 7, create and deliver fast. Only now do you create your actual product, and here's the key. Make it simple but complete. Focus on getting your clients the promised result, not impressing them with how much stuff you can include. A simple PDF guide with step-by-step instructions and maybe a few videos is often all you need. Remember, they bought the result, not the format. Step 8, scale and optimize. Once you've made your first 10K, you double down. Create more offers, improve your sales page, and repeat the process. But what if I launch and make no sales? Here's what's cool about this system. Even if you don't hit 10K on your first try, you're building valuable assets. From my research, channels that failed on their first launch, making under $1,000, learned exactly what their audience wanted. They adjusted their offer, improved their sales page, and crushed it on round 2. Plus, you've now got a product you can promote in every future video. That's passive income that keeps growing. What if my audience gets annoyed at me for selling? Look, if you're providing massive value and solving real problems, people will want to buy it from you. The key is being authentic about it. I found that successful channels always position themselves as problem solvers who happen to use YouTube, not YouTubers trying to make money. Big difference. Now imagine you're at a coffee shop and someone sits down and immediately starts pitching you their business opportunity. You'd run away, right? That's how your audience feels when you go from free content to suddenly selling. But if you met someone at a coffee shop and they said, hey, I help people solve this specific problem for a living and I make content about it, would you be interested? When they later mention they have a solution that you can buy, it feels natural. So position yourself as an expert who shares knowledge, not a content creator trying to make money. Your audience will actually thank you for offering solutions. Now, you do need consistent traffic for this to really explode your income. So if you're struggling to get views on your videos, what you need to do is focus on making better videos first. The channels that I studied that made the most money weren't necessarily the biggest. They were the ones that understood how to get their content in front of the right people at the right time. Master that and this system becomes incredibly powerful. If you want to make money online, then check out this next video right here.